So you saw our lesson today where the children were using the SRSD Level 4 rubric to self-assess. When they self-assess, they need to be honest with themselves, and they need to just go step by step with the rubric, checking sentence by sentence. For example, in the topic, they make sure that they have their hook and they highlight it. They make sure they list their reasons and they highlight it. I think just them having an identification of, I have all the parts of tree in an organized piece of writing. You noticed that I modeled my lesson with my own piece of writing, using my rubric, letting the 5th graders get into my mind, showing them exactly what they should be thinking while they do it. So our plan today is to take your POW tree, the most recent tree that we did about your favorite activity, and self-assess and peer assess. So by the time you're done, you will be able to use the SRSD rubric to self-score and partner score. And then you're going to use that as a way to say, okay, I'm ready to be published, or I'm not quite ready yet. I have to go back to my writing piece and make some revisions to it and make some editing to it. All set? We got what we got? Are we all set? Yes. All right, so here we go. So the very first thing we need is I need to know what color highlighters that I need. And I'm going to use my poster up here. So what color do I use for my topic? Green. Green. Get your green highlighter ready. What color do I need for my reasons? Yellow. Yellow. What color do I need for my explanations? Orange. Orange. And what color for the end? Pink. Pink. There's also something that we use the color blue for. We use the color blue to make sure that we are using transition words and phrases. So make sure that you have the color blue in front of you also. We're going to start today by highlighting our rubric. And this is something that I am going to lead and we are going to do together. So what color do I need first? Green. Green. So I have my green first. So this is the topic. So in our topic and introduction, we have 3 pieces. Our poster tells us that we have our hook, we have our opinion, and then we have to list our reasons why, right? So all of those will be colored green. We're going to introduce the topic clearly using a hook. We're going to state an opinion, and we're going to preview the reasons. Next comes our reasons. What color am I going to use? Yellow. Yellow. All right, so reason 1, it says reason is present. Going to make that yellow? Yeah. Cool. Then I need to move to my orange, right? So the next thing says, reasons are supported by explanations. I'm going to highlight that orange. And now here's where I'm going to go to my blue highlighter. These are linking words that connect reasons. Who can give me an example of a linking word? Go.
For example.
All right, give me another one. Go.
Another reason.
All right, so there's a couple right there. We'll do more as we go over them.
Is for instance one?
Of course, that's my favorite one. So the next thing says, uses vocabulary that is rich and engaging. We're not going to color code that. That's going to be something that, as you're editing yourself, you're going to just be able to determine whether or not you have, or you think that you have, vocabulary that is rich and engaging. Cool? All right, so what we need to do is just go reason 2, reason 3. Should be the same, right? Next comes our ending. The ending looks like it has 3 parts too. You restate the opinion, you review the reasons, and you have a strong persuasive sentence. That word persuasive can get complicated. Give me a synonym for the word persuasive.
Convincing.
Convince. Want to just use convince? Yeah. So your last sentence is a convincing sentence that says, hey, think the way I think. And we're going to make that what color? Pink. Pink. The next category is sentence variety. This we're not going to highlight either. Again, this will be something that you're going to look for when you self and peer edit, but also something that Mr. Mack will take a close look for when he's grading your own, when he's grading yours. So then we have little stories. What color should that be? It's way down here. What color do you think that should be? Real or fictional experiences that support the reason. 1, 2, 3? Orange. Orange, of course, because they are just more explanations. Just a little story. Now everybody's rubric is highlighted. and ready to get used to make sure that our writing is worthy of being published. So now let's practice. Take my paper, the one that starts with zip, plink, wait. Make sure the rubric is nearby. For this, I don't want you to write on the rubric. I want you to just use the rubric as a guide. I will be writing on my rubric. So this is more me being a fifth grader, all right, modeling for you how you are going to self-assess your own writing. So first highlighter in your hand is going to be what? Green. Green. Okay, so here I am. I'm a fifth grader. You are now in my head. You with me? Yep. All right, here we go. All right, so my writing is awesome, I think. Now I'm going to use this rubric to make sure that I have all the pieces and parts that I need. All right, so first, do I introduce a topic clearly and use a hook? Well, let's check. Zip, plunk, wait. My bait now floats on the bottom of the salty water, waiting for a huge striped bass to gobble up. Yes, that is a good hook. I'm going to highlight that green. Awesome. Now everybody out there too, you're highlighting it green as well. All right, next section is, do I state my opinion? All right, well, let's see. I think saltwater fishing is the best activity to do outside of school. I do love saltwater fishing, and I have it, so I'm good to go. And now I need to make sure that I preview my reasons. I love saltwater fishing because it is relaxing, it is thrilling, and it is adventurous. Those are my 3 reasons. I think I'm good to go. Let's just double check the rubric. All right, do I have my introduction with the hook? Yes. Do I state my opinion? Of course. And do I preview all 3 reasons? Yes, I do. So I'm good to go. I'm feeling good about this right now. All right, next, now I got to check my reason number 1. So I got to use my yellow. So my yellow's in my hand here. Is my reason present? I love going fishing because it is so relaxing. Yes. Oh, and I remember Mr. O telling me that I want to write about relaxing first because I put relaxing first when I made my list up here in my topic. Cool. All right, so that's good. I got that. Okay, now my orange. Do I support with explanations? The best time of day to go is in the early morning, just before the sun is rising over the ocean. That's good support. Although it can be a bit cold and buggy, there is nothing better than seeing the sunrise over the horizon, bouncing off the smooth morning ocean. That sounds pretty cool. In fact, when I'm on vacation, I try to wake up at least twice a week and head to the ocean. Fishing is very relaxing. I mean, yeah, those are some pretty good reasons. So I'm going to highlight all of that in orange. And I know that my reason is supported by pretty good explanations. And then my last sentence, I'm going to use that in pink because I'm just like restating my opinion. Fishing is so relaxing. Way to go. Cool. So I'm essentially pretty good to go, right? Yeah. All right. So now I'm back being a fifth grader here again. So reason number 2, I'm just going to do the same thing. I got my pink highlighter in my hand. I got my yellow highlighter in my hand. My reason is present. Another reason. Oh, sorry. I forgot something. I forgot to check to see if I have linkings. Do I have anything linking in my first paragraph? Hey, thanks. I just heard someone talk in my head. In fact, also, I think in fact is a good one. All right, so I guess I do use some. So let's check it out. Reason is present. Yes. Reason is supported by explanations. Yes. Do I have linkings? Yes. And I definitely would say that I use vocabulary that is rich and engaging. You know, words like seeing the sunrise over the horizon, bouncing off the smooth morning ocean. That's definitely rich. Mr. Mack will think so too, I'm sure. All right, paragraph 2. Let's do it. Okay, I'm back. Now I'm your teacher. Now I want to do this one with you. All right? So that was me modeling. And what are some of the things that you noticed I did? Wait a sec. Go.
You stopped and think. Thanks, Jason.
I stopped and thought about it. What else?
You went back and looked at the text to see if there's making.
Perfect. Do I, as a writer, should I feel confident that my writing is awesome? Yes. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So let's do this one together. What color do I need?
Yellow.
I need yellow first. What am I looking for? That the reason is present. The last reason I would love fishing is that fishing can be adventurous. Do I have my reason? Yes. All right, last one. I got to restate the opinion. I got to review the reasons. I got a strong, persuasive sentence. Oh, wait, first I got to go back and check off that I have everything for that final paragraph. All right, restate the opinion. For me, saltwater fishing is the best. Did I restate my opinion? Yep. Jackpot. All right. Now, do I review my reasons? It is the best because it is relaxing, thrilling, and adventurous. Did I restate them?
Yes.
Did I restate them in the right order?
Yes.
Perfect. Check, check. And what do you think? Is that sentence convincing?
Yes, very.
Okay, cool. Sick. So far, I'm feeling pretty good about turning this paper in to my teacher. But I got one more thing to check. Do I use real or fictional experiences? Who can remember a story that I told?
Where your friend caught like 2 big fish.
Andy.
I was going to say that one.
Oh. Anyone else? At least that's one story anyway, right? So I know I got that too. So I am good to go. So I feel good. Now, sometimes when you grade your own paper, you might not be as honest with yourself. You kind of think that you have it just because you sort of want to be done. But I got to say that I felt like I was pretty honest with my evaluation. My assessment of myself, I think, is pretty spot on. But now I need to check with a friend. So now here's where I would go, and I would hand my paper to Mr. O, if he was my partner, and then they would go through the same process. They would use my rubric, and they would check to make sure. So now this is what you're going to start to do. So step 1, you have your paper in front of you now. You have your rubric in front of you now. You still have the highlighters. Okay? So it's your turn to do what Mr. Mack just did. Sentence by sentence, idea by idea, explanation by explanation, and go ahead and highlight your own paper, just the way that I did. We'll come around and we'll make sure that everyone's good.